And hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a market recap of February 2026 Steam market and any price influx or decreases. Predominantly looking at the influxes and gains. I will definitely be mostly covering over CS cases, but maybe some other skins and some of the other indexes included. But yeah, let's get into it. So from the Steam update from February, the most recent was February, and there weren't really many updates with regards to CS skins. Any armory updates really? I believe we've had removal previously, but apart from that, it's all been kind of game impacts and game changes. So any changes to Inferno, if you have seen the balcony, kind of crazy spot, but like it's almost all been game updates for the game. There have been no kind of introductions of new armory items, though there is speculation that there is an armory item potentially going out the window, and that may be a massive thing to look into, such as the Sports and Field collection, and I believe the other one is the Overpass collection. But I see people jumping on the bandwagon of buying into these and potentially holding. So if you're not aware, I believe it's the M4A1S Fade that comes from the Sports and Field collection, and from the Overpass you get the Monster, which is a really cool skin. Yeah, so that's just from the updates from CS. We're gonna go into the market capitalization as of 2nd of March, as I am quite delayed, but as you can see, it has bounced back from the initial update with regards to the coverts being traded up into knives. I don't believe this is a fair representation of the market capitalization because it still doesn't implement how many coverts were traded up to knives and the value, even though there should be like or if anything slight profit. So 5.7 billion is a reach. I would say we're probably around the 5 billion or 5.3 billion mark. So this is definitely a bit of a reach, but we're definitely going back up. People still playing, there's still cases being dropped, and that's still adding to the market capitalization. Think about the player base, there's more than 100,000 a day, and the amount of people getting cases every 4 days, and they can vary from 50 cent to $10. I believe also the update on the removal of rare drop case. Well, some of the drop cases in the rare drop pool have been removed, and we'll be definitely looking into that. So we won't be seeing any more Operation Weapon Case ones and some other cases that were included in that, like the Spectrum and the Gamma cases. But yeah, I would say that there was probably some increases in the market capitalization, and we have seen some recovery in the market. That leads me on to looking at the glove index. The glove index, as we can see from the update, decreased significantly, was on a big stagnant decrease. A gradual decline down, all the way down to 374,000 for just an accumulation of all the glove value. Obviously, coverts, printing, new gloves found a new price because there's such an increase in new supply, and people can now kind of afford them. Well, not afford them, inadvertently can afford them, but like there's more competition in the market. People will have access to these gloves and rare gloves, so factory news and stuff like that. So they have found a new price floor or price ceiling, so average down to around 382,000 currently around. Could expect it to go back up with depending on how cases go or skins are introduced back into the game, and whether these are attainable through any new drops or anything like that. And if they aren't, I would believe that we could expect some price increases back into the glove market, especially for the rare ones like the Vice, the hedge mazes, and stuff like that. So yeah, we've not bad. In 30 days, it's gone up by 5.28%. Not a bad increase. Has shown some some signs of rejuvenation. And yeah, you can see some of these, the hedge maze is at around 20-30,000. We do have the superconductors. Minimal wear is still around 10.5k. And we've got Pandora's boxes. They're like 8.3, so not bad, not bad. This will show me all of them, whether there's any crazy increases back up. So we can see the sports gloves going up by nearly 2%, the fades going up by nearly 3%. And this is all from Price Empire, so you're all more than welcome. You'll have access to this site. It's free of charge, and you can just compare and look at price trends. But yeah, moving on to something I found from the indexes is the actual liquid bloodhound glove cases. Gloves. This has seen a fair increase from its previous low in February. In February, it was around $2,000 accumulated of all the gloves within this case or index, and has now found a new high of 2.5, 2.6. It did peak around 3.2 in mid-Feb, and now back to 2.6, which actually is not a bad increase. Has seen 61.4% increase in gloves, in the price of the gloves within this case, and that is the Bloodhound gloves. They're all Bloodhound, but I guess they're like bronze, snakebite. You've got the charred and stuff like that. So it looks like the field tested bronze are the most increasing of currently 10%, which can help bolster the prices back up in relation to these small, minute decreases. But on average, just oversight of looking at all of these, you can see that the increases kind of outweigh the decreases. So yeah, it's a positive sign for all the gloves in this index. So if you were lucky to hold on to some during, and you had or bought one around early Feb, probably made a decent amount on return. Okay, so moving on. I actually want to look into cases. Cases, as I mentioned, cases are like my bread and butter. I love cases. Cases are great. The way cases will go is a bit unknown, but moving on to cases, we're looking at the rare cases initially. So if I look at the Huntsman case, over the lifetime, all-time high was around £12. But looking from Feb, if I zoom in, from February, it has kind of stagnated, hasn't increased too much, so it's gone up by like maybe 20% as of, and it's quite volatile, so the prices do vary from 9.35, well, nearly £10 to, this was the start of the month, 5.9. Maybe someone was just a bit irrational and was like, I need to get rid of this, or would like to sell something. So 5.9 to around 10 has seen substantial increases even from the previous floor. So it looks like the floor is around £7.2 to £10. That's still pretty much nearly 30-40% increase. Not a bad case to look into. One superstition I've got. So some of these cases, as we can see from February 3rd, well, from the start of the month, February 3rd, we have seen smaller units of these being sold. Smaller units, only 1 or 2 or 3. Previously, we were seeing hundreds. So if I look at January 31st, 290 sold, 277, 100, 100, 100. If I go back to the lifetime, we generally see around 400-ish sold, kind of like 400, 500, some at peaks 1,000. So yeah, we have seen a massive decrease in the amount of these cases being sold. Don't know if this is an accumulation phase where people are accumulating some of these cases because they know these aren't going to be re-released, or it's speculation. But this is another general trend you'll be able to observe throughout this video, where case prices have kind of, from the rare drop wall, have increased or decreased, but you can see generally from the supply of the amount being sold has halved or decreased significantly. That leads me on to the weapon case. Been in the game for a very long time, and as you can see from the yearly graph, from 2014, used to be, damn, if you were bought these back in the day, you'd be milking it right now. You'd be milking it because peaks of 190. And as you can see, I'm just looking at the amount of units sold. It's around hundreds, 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 hundreds. With these rare cases, though, I believe people knowing that these got removed from the rare drop pool, they would have started accumulating or moving some funds around to buy some of these up. But looking at the price from someone sold one for £2. Oh, yo, they sent it back to 2014. As you can see, one or two being sold, one or two, five being sold. Not very much anymore. Not very much. If I look at the quantity sold, it's very minimal. Very minimal. But this has seen a 50% price increase in relation to the price at the start of the month. At the start of the month, which is quite insightful. Not bad. Definitely a case worthwhile looking into, though it's not a very easy barrier to entry. As £171 in your account is something, and you will still need the 15% growth, and then having to outweigh that with, oh, okay, down the line, 15% of 166 is around what, £24 on top. So you'll need another what? Maybe you need it to go to around nearly £200, around 195. But definitely, people holding on to this have seen gains, and very good case to hold on to. But looking onto the more case, the recall case pattern, even in January, you've seen a lot of unboxing decrease. The unboxing numbers for this case has dropped significantly. Looking at it now, we can see it going down from 12 to around 9% of total cases, but also the unboxing numbers has decreased from 12% to 4%. Recall cases still actively dropped, which is very interesting to see and observe the price fluctuations. So as I was mentioning, the recall case has seen very little price fluctuations. The quantity sold, as you can see, there was hundreds and thousands of these being sold, and then it comes to around, I believe it happens to this case too, where the quantity sold drops dramatically from 90,000 to around 2 to 5,000, which is quite substantial. And I'm questioning whether it's a part of the accumulation phase where people are buying into cases and stop selling them, because the price hasn't changed dramatically, or maybe they've just stopped opening them. The price hasn't changed dramatically, so 70k, 25, and then it just drops, and it goes into the single thousands. Instead of the tens of thousands, it goes into the single thousand. As I had showed you before previously, this is the case that had the amount of unboxing decreased substantially in relation to the amount of cases total, it's still quite stayed stagnant, moved horizontally, though the unboxing numbers has decreased significantly. That leads me to my next case, which is the Dreams and Nightmares case. One of my favorites, but you know, I love the skins from it and the potential from it. This has also seen somewhat similar behavior from as the recall, even though it's actively dropped. This is actually still actively dropped. So looking at it, we can go from January, so February we see 85,000, around 80s, and then it goes into single digits. And I'm not entirely too sure what this could have been. It looks like the volume traded has decreased substantially. Even though prices fluctuated around the £1.20 to £1.40 mark. Looking at it previously, there used to be 70,000, around such substantial numbers, 110,000, like 70,000, up until February the 3rd. And the only thing I can see or observe from Price Empire and stuff like that is Price Empire just notifying about the Epstein files. I will put that on. But that came out on the 4th, and Epstein supposedly have some crazy skins, buddy. Maybe he was laundering, maybe he was a player. If I came across him, god damn. God damn. But yeah, you see the same with the Dreams and Nightmares case. Looking at the daily sales, it has increased in the past 30 days, so supposedly. And the price has increased by around 8% in the past month in aspect. And yeah, just looking at the amount of cases being opened of the Dreams and Nightmares, we can see that in the past month, from October, we saw 15% case percentage of total cases being open, and that was around nearly 10 million. We went into November, still around 15, but started to decline, and then we saw a massive rock bottom in December and January, nearly as previous high of 2024 December. Maybe people were just buying Christmas presents instead of cases. Maybe. But as you can see, even the percentage case total has decreased from its previous high. This case has got slightly more expensive, but not expensive, not in relation to August and September 2024. I believe the prices were very similar. They're only £1.20, £1.10, and it's only an extra 30%. So very interesting behavior from the market and those participating. We see, which is interesting, and the unboxing numbers are rock bottom. They're at 8%. All I can believe is people are kind of hoarding these, putting them into their containers and just leaving them. Hopefully, they'll be the next ones to be removed. Maybe, maybe not. I believe chronologically, I think the Dreams and Nightmares case is the next case to be removed from the pool, and would like to see what Steam go about it. And yep, that leads me on to the fracture case. I won't bore you too much with the most same reciprocal kind of repetition of explanations, but you can observe here as well 40, 50 thousands going into thousands after February 3rd. It looks like people, though this had seen a price increase, unlike the Dreams and Nightmares and Recall case, this has been removed. So this is a lot more understandable that the price will increase, even though now the quantity being sold is decreased. A lot of people just maybe taking theirs off the marketplace and holding on to them because they know down the line in a couple of months or 3 months, if the opening rates carry on at the rates they do, like 6 to 8%, total number of cases being 8%, that's going to deplete and diminish all of supply. Not all of supply, but this is going to influence the price, and we're going to see the prices of the fracture cases go up. So that's a very interesting case. It's been recently removed. Very popular active drop case, and has some decent skins in it. So definitely worthwhile looking into the fracture case. So yeah, as we go back to the insights given by Price Empire and the value of the market chart of all the cases combined, having a look, you can see that some of these esport winter cases have gone up substantially by maybe about 20 to 15%. And also the Operation Hydra. The Operation Hydra has gone up substantially from what it was at February 3rd, as it's now a rare drop. This has seen the inverse effect of the rest of the actively dropped cases that were kind of in the pool before removal. On February 3rd, as you can see, price has almost gone up by nearly 50%, and it is still climbing. So it's currently at £47 previously from the start of the month, where it was around £30. People have made their tax fees back. Good investment. Very rare case. Not going to get this dropped again. I don't believe operation cases will get dropped again. So definitely something to take into consideration when purchasing. And you can see the market supply. It's currently only 153 sell orders. And there is quite a disparity between the buy and sell orders, where people are trying to buy for 45 and people are trying to sell for 48. But the operation has seen a substantial increase, and this is the esports summer case over the span of the month. So from February, it was around £12, was quite volatile throughout the month, increasing, decreasing from around £10. You see big dips of like £9, but generally gone up by 50%, and the units sold have stayed consistent. I would say, well, not consistent. I would say the substantially amount of substantial sales has decreased by nearly tenfold. So you can almost see a fraction of 10% of this 127 being sold, even less, but to a point where it's like 3% previously. So 3% of the total amount of sales in comparison to the previous months or the time before may signify that people are holding these and seeing these as an investment, and people are just maybe not buying at these prices and maybe choosing alternate investments. And that's what we'll look into. So just give me a moment and I'll have a look into the the stickers. So moving on, looking at the 30-day change for sticker capsules, we can see the half-life is the one leading at the moment. We have Shanghai going up by 15% in the month. Stockholm going up by 12, Slide, Shanghai autograph capsules going up too. We've got some of the sugar face capsules. I believe this probably is just a collection of the value of the amount of capsules within or the stickers. But yeah, it gone up by 9.1%. Actually shows an increase of the stickers, the value of the stickers combined to make up the value of this index. And from its previous, so from 16th of Feb, it has shot up dramatically. This may be maybe because this is getting removed and replaced with another sticker capsule in the armory. As you can see, these have gone up. Some of them have gone up by 33%, 16, 2.8, even the ones in the slabs. Pretty cool in general. And this is me going into the Shanghai sticker capsule and looking at the price changes. This is actually only reflecting the 24-hour price change. But from this, we can see some of the price influxes of the highest items. We can see that Lucky's gone up by 300% in the last 24 hours. We're seeing some other skins like Magic's is going up. More importantly, without the slabs, we should be looking at the skins, well, the stickers that are going up as they are. So we are seeing Snow go up, NQZ from Pain. They've had a good run currently in the tournament going on now, which is it's one of those. They're in the stage 1. Let me just say that. Techno. I'm surprised Senzu hasn't gone on actually. I'm a big fan of Senzu, who's now joined Passion. But yep, you can see some of the price changes from, and this will be from high to low, the value and what the most expensive items are in this capsule. So it does look like Snacks is one of the highest because he no longer plays, so he's almost like a legend of it. And yeah, this one, we've got Fallen, 54, but it's gone down by 5.4%. I do like some of these Queseratos. These are really cool. I do like these Chinese writings on some of them who have opted for it. But yep, see Rare Atom going up by 13% in the past hour. We've got your Rop Slab. Not a bad collection of stickers to have in this capsule. So definitely, if you're not going to look to buy into these directly, the capsules may be worthwhile down the line. But a big increase. And this is actually just a roundup of the last from what Price Empire has from the indexes. Actually organizing them through descending of highest increase on the 30 days. You can see Bloodhound, Dust Collection, Liquid Mirage, Guts, a lot of cases, a lot of collections, cases, Gut Knives. Gut Knives have seemed to increase back by 20% within the market. So that's actually pretty fair to say about with regards to the coverts being traded up to golds and the price kind of rejuvenating because it's kind of balancing out the covert prices and the gold glove prices. So risk and reward, they almost want the expected value to equal the total value of the amount of skins being put in. And yeah, from the rest, so we can see 15% on the cases. Everything else is going up by 15 to 20%. Then we go to page 3, mostly more gloves, a lot more, some winter cases. And yeah, generally, and then Shanghai pops up on the 4th page, going up by 11% in the month, which is pretty good. But yeah, this is actually going to round up the video for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I will get this published as soon as possible. If you could please drop a like and subscribe, that would mean the world. And I will definitely be doing another video soon. Be sure to check out my Twitter. I have a Twitter. I will link it in the description. But yeah, thank you all everyone for subscribing currently and being a part of this channel. You guys mean the world. I'm gonna love and leave you guys. Hope you guys have a lovely week and a month. I will catch you guys soon. Bye bye.